Now, here's the preview of the Big 12 tennis tournament, which I'm for the men and women. But the men is so simple, really. It's only 6 teams. So, the number 1 seed is TCU. The number 2 seed, Baylor. They have byes, which is huge because they would only have to play 2 matches in 2 days, possibly. But number 1 seed, TCU, will either take on the number 4 seed, Texas Tech, or the 5 seed, Oklahoma. Last time these 2 teams played, 4-3 Texas Tech. That's the ultimate difference on why, on the seedings. Obviously, the number 2 seed Baylor will either play the number 3 seed Texas, who is a top 16 seed for the NCAA tournament, or number 6 seed Oklahoma State. And ironically, both of those teams just played each other. And Texas won 5-2. I would not be shocked if Oklahoma State would win, but I don't really see that happening, no. I think it's going to be Baylor versus Texas, but honestly, I think Texas is just a level below Baylor, so Baylor should make it to the championship. As for TCU, it's hosted at TCU, though. I really don't think it matters if it's Texas Tech or Oklahoma I'm winning, but I will say this. Texas Tech had TCU on the ropes last time they played them. If they were to play Texas Tech. Sure, it was a 6-1 win in favor of TCU, but 3 of those were 3 setters. I mean, they were like tight. It was 3-1, and then it was 3 matches remaining. It was like 3 set matches, and it was close, like 7-5 or 7-6. That could have easily been a Texas Tech 4-3. While Oklahoma just played TCU, ironically, and it was 5-2, but they made TCU earn it in Norman. And the number 1 seed for the Big 12 men's tournament, tennis tournament, has not won the Big 12 tournament in the last 3 years. 3 times. Just putting that out there. But I think TCU should win and get to the final. It's a matter of who's going to win that Baylor versus TCU match. Those 2 teams split. Ironically, TCU lost to Baylor when they played at TCU, but Baylor lost 4-3 when they were in Waco for the Big 12. Yeah, that first meeting was a non-conference. So, I could very well see either way. But I think because the 1 seed has not had a lot of success in the Big 12 tournament recently, I think the number 2 seed Baylor pulls it out. Now, the women's side, number 1 seed's Oklahoma, 4 seeds Baylor, 5 seeds Kansas, 2 seed Texas, 3 seed Oklahoma State, 6 seed Texas Tech. Obviously, Oklahoma plays to either number 8 seed TCU or number 9 seed Kansas State, but to me, it doesn't really matter because I think Oklahoma should win. Number 2 seed Texas will probably play Iowa State. No offense to West Virginia, but they're winless in conference. But, you know, and ironically, Iowa State just played Texas Tech. I mean, Iowa State just played West Virginia recently. Last conference match of the season. But I expect Iowa State to win. But Iowa State is a dangerous team. Yes, Texas won pretty convincingly in Ames. But part of me is kind of like, Iowa State's playing well, but the problem is, they're like a top 35 team, but maybe not top 25. So I think Texas is probably going to win. For me, Texas Tech is playing really well right now against Oklahoma State, so I won't be shocked by the upset here. But honestly, I think Oklahoma State's just slightly better right now. They just knocked off Pepperdine 4-3. So then it'd be probably Texas versus Oklahoma State, and that's a pick 'em to me. Yes, Texas won last meeting, but I'm just saying. Obviously, the number 4 seed Baylor plays the number 5 seed Kansas. I won't be shocked with either result, but I know Baylor has beat them twice this year. Once in ITA kickoff weekend, and Baylor won 4-1. And the last time they met in the Big 12, 4-3 in an epic 4-hour, 21-minute match. Yes, it was 4-3. I won't be shocked either way, but I think Baylor is just slightly better. And yes, they actually play better against Texas than Kansas did. So I think Baylor should get to that. Obviously, Oklahoma's going to play Baylor. Granted, last time it was a 6-1 win for Oklahoma, but the match was in doubt at 3-1, and the rest of the matches were 3-0, and the rest of the matches were in the third set. So it was a lot closer than the score showed. And I would not be shocked with either way here. So I really think there is a possibility that Oklahoma might lose their first match this week in the Big 12 tournament. It's a matter of, is it going to be the semifinal or in the final? For the first time since National Indoor Championship match against North Carolina. But I do believe Oklahoma State probably beats Texas the second time. And I'm predicting that Texas won't win the Big 12 tournament because I think Oklahoma State and Oklahoma are slightly better. But if Texas were to face Baylor again, that would be funny in the Big 12 tournament. But we will wait and see what happens. Anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you guys later. Let's get me up to 400 subscribers or more by the end of this year.